Your greatest reward and opportunity is on the other side of you not knowing what's next. Not knowing that what's next can absolutely be just such a traumatizing feeling. You could have anxiety, fear, lack of understanding. And I learned a valuable lesson this week about not knowing what's next. I recently started a business in which I have experience within this specific industry. However, I ended up just at a place where I realized that it just wasn't within like a financial comfortability for me at this time. And so I was devastated. I remember just sitting there thinking like I've studied, I've trained for this. I was in the gym like shooting, like I prepared for this moment, right? And so for me, it was really hard because I'm like, this is just doesn't financially make sense for me right now. And it's not going to be a good ROI at this moment. And so when I realized that, I began to just do more research. It can be hard when you've done research and you've prepared yourself for an opportunity and you think that this is the direction or the highway that you're going to go down within launching a specific business. I did all the research. I've actually been studying this specific niche for over a year now, almost 2 years. And so to get to this point, I'm like, man, this is like devastating. So if you find yourself in a space where you don't know what's next, you realize that this may not necessarily be a business or area that you can start right now, and it may end up being a long-term goal for you, I would say one, refocus and refresh, restart, right? So once I realized this, I just remember like kind of just like telling God, like, I need a mental break, right? So I took a few days and I know God is like, girl, you have to get back out there and kind of get back on the horse as far as like making some decisions, because I knew what direction I could pivot to that was going to be a low entry point and allow me to like make money from that, right? So I remember just thinking to myself, okay, so for the next 2-3 days, we're gonna relax, we're gonna decompress, we're going to just get ourselves together, and then we'll hop back out there and research another industry, which I also have experience in that same niche, or I don't even want to say industry, another niche within an industry. And so I hopped back out there. I kind of started my research on learning more about this specific area. And that's kind of where I'm pivoting to. It's so funny when you prepare yourself for what you think is going to be a great opportunity, and how in that research, in the mud, in the grit of it all, you end up realizing that not only can you pivot to a better opportunity, but this opportunity is going to provide you either the same amount of money as far as like ROI, or even more money, right? And so when I realized that, I'm like, man, okay, sometimes we take experiences and we think like, oh, this is over. I'll never be able to do this business. I'll never be able to really launch this without like a significant amount of money. And no doesn't mean no forever. No just may mean no, not right now. And we have to understand that as entrepreneurs. And so the second thing I think that just really helped me as far as like growing and learning throughout this process is like, don't get discouraged, right? Entrepreneurship can be gut wrenching. And I always say this, like, it's not for everybody. Some people don't like the highs and lows, and they don't do well with denials, or, having to go through all the red tape, depending upon what industry you might be starting a business in. But you have to stay diligent, and you have to make sure that like you're in compliance. You notice that a lot of people will start businesses and the business won't do well because they weren't in compliance, or they didn't make sure the foundation is correct, right? So you have to make sure your foundation is correct. In architecture, in the process of building a house, even the slightest measurement being off can be detrimental. Think of the same concept when it comes to your business. You want to make sure that your foundation is sturdy, right? You want to make sure that in everything that you're doing, at each step, at each level, you are setting yourself up for success, and you're not setting yourself up in a way that your business could fail because you wanted to skip steps and start your business, right? And then also 4, you want to make sure, of course, and I wasn't even going to do a 4th one. This is hilarious. But you want to make sure, of course, that, you have all of your licensing in place. I have another video in which I'll link into this. You want to make sure you have your licensing in place. Oftentimes you'll see people start businesses and they think like, oh, I don't need a business license. I'm just going to start. Like, we don't want you getting in trouble with the law. We don't want you being sued. We want to make sure that like you're in compliance in every area when it comes down to licensing. Take time to study and know your industry. If there's specific laws, this may seem like very time consuming. Print the laws out, read them, make sure you have a binder. For one of my industries, I have a binder that has like all of the laws that I possibly need to know, so that I'm well informed. It also prevents people from getting over on you. If you don't know your rights or you don't know your laws, people can take advantage of you. I don't know where you are or what you may be doing within your business at this point, but I hope these 4 strategies have helped you as far as like discovering what's next. If you don't happen to necessarily know what that is or what that looks like, and that's okay. In entrepreneurship, you are not going to have all of the answers. And even within growing, right? It can seem like you're going in circles, but just understand and know that as you're growing within your business, not only will you be able to help yourself, but you may also be able to help the next person. If one of your long-term goals may look like mentorship, or it may look like doing one-on-ones with other clients, you never know that the knowledge that you learn today, how it can benefit you and create great opportunities for you later. I hope this video, as always, it helps at least one person. Code Blue, I'm so excited to kind of like be back in the lab with you guys and doing more videos. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe, and talk to you soon.